Hello and welcome to the HEALcast. My name's Bobby, joined by a somewhat different co-host this week, Connor. Say hey.
Hello, I'm Connor, subbing in for Morgan this week. I'm really excited and I'll do my best.
Yeah, so Morgan's a little busy, so I went for the next best thing. My buddy Connor. If you don't know who Connor is, jump back a couple weeks. Episode 11. He was on the HEALcast. Check it out. But we're gonna jump right into this with our good friend Tom. Tom, go ahead, introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do here at Penn State.
Well, first off, I'd like to say thank you, Bobby and Connor, for having me on.
My pleasure,
And I'd
Tom.
also like to give a shout out to my roommate. Andrew is in Heal, so he has connected me to you guys. Um, and I joined Tri-State my freshman year. I joined not really knowing anyone at Penn State, not really having any connections here whatsoever. I just joined kind of on a whim. And so far it's kind of been like my mini family. I've met a ton of really awesome people. I've been on doing a ton of fundraisers. And I also am now the alt funds chair for Tri-State. So that's exciting. And I danced for them this past Thon 2021. So that's a little bit about me and kind of my journey so far in the Thon world.
Awesome, you jumped right in there. We're twins, Tom. I don't know if you realize, but we're both alt fund chairs. So I think next Halloween we can be Wonder Twins. Thoughts?
I could be you and you could be me and Connor could be Morgan.
I already am.
Oh, hey, yeah,
I
Connor
already am.
already is Morgan. Did you not realize?
It's the yeah, I need to get in the headset.
Yeah,
I'll just call Connor Morgan for the rest of the podcast.
Thank
That's
you.
good.
yeah. Well,
Yeah, that would be good.
just so the pod knows, we had a group chat before this to get things set up, and I did not tell Tom that Morgan wouldn't be here this week and that it was Connor instead. So like this whole time, Connor was saying things, and Tom thought it was Morgan. So good laugh there. We love you, Tom. I have to rag on you because that's just the dynamic, but it's fine. Anyways, you jumped right in with your Thon affiliation, which is awesome. Can you just tell me a little bit about um, your major? What do you do here at Penn State other than Thon? Anything else? How you met Andrew? Maybe that'd be cool, right?
Oh, that is yeah. I kind of did jump right in.
All
I'll
good.
be a little more. I'll be a little more general. So I am currently a junior studying mechanical engineering at Penn State. I just found out the other day that mechanical engineering is like the seventh or in the seventh percentile of majors like around the world.
Of cool
That's pretty
people.
cool. Um, yeah, so that's cool. I met
Wait, the
I
seventh
met
percentile of what?
so the my professor showed us a ranking and we're ranked 12th out of 180 programs. Penn State is their
Yeah.
mechanical engineering department.
Oh, okay.
So Purdue and Michigan are ahead of us, but we don't want to talk about that.
We
Nope.
don't talk about
Um,
that. No.
yeah,
Hey,
we
at
don't
least
talk
they're not
about
ahead of us in that basketball tournament.
that. Is
Oh
true.
wait, just kidding. They are because we didn't even make it.
Hey, but no one's in it
Hey,
anymore.
but they
So
lost. So yeah, yeah.
That
They
means we're
suck.
equal.
We don't like them.
but yeah, so I'm a mechanical engineering major. I am also involved in club croquet. I'm going to be one of their core four next year. They are also really involved in Thon. But I've those are my two main groups, or I guess my two main clubs that I affiliate with here are club croquet and then tri-state. Um, and then what about how I met Andrew. So I met Andrew through our good friend and another Heel member. I believe it was he's been the Heel member of the week this week, David Auerbach. So shout out David.
Yo, shout out
And
Shout out
David.
David.
Happy late birthday, buddy.
yeah, happy late birthday. So he's yeah, he had a good birthday.
Good.
But I met Andrew through David, and then we became roommates. We're roommates this year, and then
And they were roommates.
and they were roommates. So he is, in fact, my roommate. Andrew Michael Malmstrom the first is my roommate.
Doxed. Give his address out too while you're at it. His social, maybe. I'm just
I know.
kidding.
Just the zip code. Just the zip code. That's
Just a
fine.
zip code.
That's great to hear. That's really awesome. So you mentioned that you didn't really um, know anyone in Tri-State coming in. So how did you find Tri-State? How did you begin to become involved with that?
That is a great question because I coming into Penn State, I actually had like really no idea what Thon was. And like you hear about it on like the tours, like Thon's huge at Penn State, but I knew Penn State from football. And from just being a huge university, and I have family from Pennsylvania, so like that's how I was kind of affiliated or affiliated Penn State with those things. So then when I came here, my first class was with this girl Alyssa, and I just randomly sat next to her, randomly started talking to her, and she was super hyped up about Thon. And she was like, "It's so awesome! My neighbor, she's a junior here at Penn State, and like she's part of the Thon org, and like she absolutely loves it, and she wants to dance this year, and like I think it'd be really awesome if we like signed up together." So we signed up. We had like a social that weekend. I met a bunch of members. It was a ton of fun. And then it's just one of those things that I kind of just rolled with. When I came to Penn State, I probably went to or signed up for like 10 to 12 different clubs. One of them being Club Cocaine, one of them being Tri-State. And those were just the two ones that stick or stuck. And I'm really grateful to be a part of both of those organizations because they're really awesome.
Yeah, I feel like that's a very common thing to like sign up for. Penn State does this nice involvement fair where it's like the first week of class, all these I think every org at Penn State is there. So you set up your little table and like the masses of freshmen, like the 20,000 kids, just like walk down the line in like 80-degree heat. Everyone's just screaming at you. And like as a freshman, if like a senior's yelling at you to sign up, you sign up. So you end up signing up for like 20 or 30 clubs. And then you look at all these things and you're like, there's no way. You narrow that down to. I'm
Pretty
surprised you were able to
quickly
keep
too.
two because I kind of just looked at Heal and I was like, yeah, that's it. Everything else is out. But very common to hear that. So don't be ashamed that
Yeah.
you ditched the
Oh
ten.
no, the amount of seniors and or like just older people who like just seemed like they had like stature and like knew what they were doing, being like, "Hey, you kid," and I was like, "Hey, I am a kid," and then
Yeah,
I
I'm
just
18.
like they were like, "Write your email down and come to our meeting," and I was like, "When's the meeting?" And they were like, "Oh, that doesn't matter. Just write your email down and get in the group me." So I just I yeah, I the amount of group meetings that I was in freshman year it was a lot, and I still get emails from a bunch of clubs. Like just I think I signed up for club curling. I signed up for, and granted, these are probably also great.
Wait,
Like
club curling is sick though. You should actually. I'll go to those meetings with you because that sounds kind of dope.
yeah,
I
they
want to
the
play some
only
curling.
yeah, it was like a brand new club at Penn State, and it was one of those like ones that I went like to like three meetings, and
Yeah.
then I was like, I don't really, I just like didn't meet anyone there, and like they didn't like it just like wasn't for me. But yeah, and not to diss club curling. I'm sure they're an excellent
No,
club.
yeah, it's just sometimes
It's
you don't
just
vibe.
exactly sometimes the vibes are off, and you want the vibes to be immaculate, don't we?
True, immaculate vibes. I'm glad to hear that Tri-State had that for you. A very common thing also with Dawn orgs is that joining usually comes from word of mouth. We had captains on episode, I don't know, maybe 7 or 8. Gonna have to fact check that later. But they talked about they're in charge of getting people interested in Dawn recruitment. And it was something like 70% of people in a Thon org join that org through word of mouth. So interesting. I don't know the solution to it. If I did, we'd have it. But this is the closest to a solution we have. So while we're on that, why don't you just tell us about Tri-State? Really, just what the org is, what you guys do. You are a special interest org, right?
Yes, yeah, we're a special interest org.
Cool.
So our sole purpose is fundraising for Thon. Like every meeting is Thon related. Every meeting, everything we do is for Thon. So I forget when it was formed. I think it was like the early 2010s, like 2010 or 2011. And it was a group of people from the tri-state area. Like I don't even know what the tri-state area is,
I
but
don't
they are from
either.
the tri-state area.
Pennsylvania, New York, New Jersey.
Yeah. So
Is
that's
it?
a
Is that
nice.
like
Yeah.
official?
Yeah.
Is that on like the Phineas and Ferb wiki that you had to check?
Yeah, I just real quick checked
Yeah.
in 2 seconds.
All right. Good. Good.
So the people from Phineas and Ferb and also from tri-state
Yes,
area,
of course.
they wanted to make this org,
Wait, so
or they
Phineas
want
and Ferb founded it?
And Perry.
essentially.
Essentially. Okay.
I'd like to think that Ferb and Phineas, or Phineas and Ferb, however you wanted to describe them, were in the making of tri-state. But
I
I
think.
guess that's
Yeah. No. I
arbitrary.
think that. No. I think
I
that's
can
a great assumption.
I can get behind that.
I'm there for it because maybe the age might not add up like 2010, 2011, 2012. Like they were at the height of their show, and I think in the show they're in like fourth grade. But like, no, it could
They were
work.
well beyond their years
Yes, I
in
mean
terms
they
of
were
their
like making roller
creations.
coasters and stuff. They definitely could have just gotten into school at Penn State early because what we're like seventh percentile mechanical engineers. They had to do some engineering stuff. Obviously, duh. So it
For
all
sure.
works perfectly.
And I'm gonna mention this just popped into my head. So I will talk about tri-state and what we do,
Yes.
but before, um, over Thon weekend we were doing TikTok challenges, or we were doing challenges to try to raise money, and one of those was sing a song as loud as you possibly could. And one of our Thon children, Declan, I don't know how old he is. He's like 7 or 8 years old. I have to fact check that, but he is really into squirrels. So he's all like every meeting so far this year, he was like squirrels, squirrels, squirrels. So we thought the best idea was to scream squirrels in my pants
Yes.
from Phineas and Ferb. So we like one of the three our three dancers, two of them knew the song, and I was like, oh my god, like it's gonna be awesome. Another member was like, I've never heard of it. And it was just the most wacky like 30 seconds of my life, because we were just three grown college kids, right? We're dancing in thong. We're a little tired because it was like Saturday morning or Saturday afternoon. And we are just belting out the lyrics to Squirrels in My Pants. And it was just so ridiculous. But it's like, I think that's like what, like, yeah, it's a cool
That
thon.
that like surmises what Thawne is though. Like, did Declan like it? Was he a fan?
He loved it. So he has his own TikTok, and I think he commented on the TikTok in all caps squirrels and like a couple and like 10 exclamation points. So I think Declan was a fan of
Seems like a
Awesome.
positive
That
reaction.
is,
That's
yeah.
amazing.
We
I
might have
wish
to
I was there
decode
to
what
see that.
we might have to decode what squirrels 10 exclamation points mean. Could be different than 9 or like 13, but we'll get there. Awesome story. Let's jump back into Tri-State. What is Tri-State?
Okay, so yes, we were founded 10 years ago, and we are a special interest org. All our purpose is to raise money for Thon, and as well as support our Thon family, the Homans. So the Homans live in they live in southwest or southeastern PA, and it's Declan, Noella, Jackie, and Neil. And Declan had, I believe Declan had cancer. I think he's 4 years cancer free, which is really,
Yay!
really awesome.
That
Yeah,
is
it
awesome.
was. We made a video for him this year, and it was just a bunch of joy and a bunch of people having fun. Um, and yeah, we raise money every year for Thon. My role in Tri-State is to kind of find like alternate fundraisers. So it's what kind of Bobby does, whether that be restaurant fundraisers. We did a lot of, we were able to organize a ribboning sale this year, which was a lot of fun.
I'm
And
jealous.
then, yeah, we did one in, where would we do one? We did one in Pennsylvania over like the fundraising break. And that was a huge success because it felt more like a normal year, because usually ribboning is like one of the most fun parts about Thon and like fundraising, as well as we had like I was able to tell like share with Thon with a bunch of people back home. So we had like a Chipotle fundraiser and a Bertucci's fundraiser, restaurant fundraisers. So that was a lot of fun as well.
Awesome. So while we're still on the tri-state thing, I think we've said before, Heal is kind of on the smaller side at Penn State of Thon orgs, so 50 to 60 members in Heal. The bigger ones, you get up to like 800 in Springfield and like 800 in Ohana or something like that, like half the school. But anyways, how how's the member scene at Tri-State?
Yeah. So this, like, I guess going off what you said, like word of mouth is definitely, I think, how we this year for freshman wise, I think we got a lot of freshmen who were who came to the org because their older sibling was in the org. Whether that be they're currently in the org or that they graduated and they recommended it. So that was how we were able to get a lot of the newer members this year. Was just basically word of mouth. And I guess just overall numbers wise, we're a pretty small org. I don't know what like usually our active membership is, but obviously with COVID, it's a little down this year. I
Everyone's
think
is, so
yeah,
yeah.
and it's just hard this year with Zooms. Like I know me personally, I don't like it's not always the most fun to jump from, oh, I just did 4 hours of Zoom class to now I'm gonna do 1 hour Zoom exec meeting and then another hour Zoom actual meeting. So yeah, it's been a little tough with membership, but
Yeah.
we're looking to I mean, I'm a junior this year, so next year I'll be part of Tri-State as well. And we're really looking to push as much more membership as we possibly can. Just try to get the membership up because
Definitely.
obviously, more members you have, more successful you
True.
are.
I think it's a good point you bring up with the I never even thought about that. Sitting in Zoom classes for like 4 hours, and like in a normal year, it wasn't. You're doing the same work when you're going to your exec meeting and you're going to your like org meeting, but the fact that you got up and like walked there, like you had to the change of scenery. I don't know, like it was
Yeah.
just so much more refreshing than you're right. Now I'm just sitting at my computer for 9 hours a day, and I'm a basement dweller, so like I kind of enjoy that, but I do miss the times when I could just go out, grab some dinner, meet some friends, do
Yeah,
the
it
org
definitely
meeting.
definitely breaks it up a lot more. It's so tedious just being in the same room the entire day. So totally get that. And the involvement fair is going to be huge next year, so I wish you
Guns
guys the best
blazing.
of luck with
Tri-State
I
that.
better be
know.
ready because Heel is bringing the thunder. No, all good fun, all in good competition, friendly competition, of course. I'm
Yes, it's
surprised.
all. Oh
Go ahead.
yeah, go for it.
No, go ahead.
Oh, I said it's all for Thon. So
Yeah,
obviously,
exactly.
I want Tri-State to have 1,000,005 members.
Correct.
1,000,002 would be okay as well, but like a million
Maybe
and
a
five.
million three. You could,
Skimp a little bit.
right?
Yeah.
I'm surprised we haven't done anything together. So I don't know if people know that like orgs work together a lot on fundraisers. Like there are tons of most of the frats are paired with other sororities or frats and do stuff together. Like I don't know, Tom, why have we not done a fundraiser together?
I think this year, just like coordination wise, it was
We got to do
tough.
it.
Like
It,
with
it was like a
COVID.
rhetorical question. It's
Oh, yes, yes, of
why
course. I
like
would
like
definitely
I
be.
am much at fault for not doing it as you are. So like I'm not coming at you. We should do
Yeah,
that though. We still have some time left. Maybe we can get like a general fundraiser together.
yeah. Well, we were. I guess this is just kind of like general fundraising, but we did a fundraiser for like our organization or for Tri-State,
Yeah.
not for Thon. So it was like to raise money for like essentially getting gifts for our Thon children and then like paying for expenses like for Thon weekend. And then Andrew joined the bracket, David joined the bracket, and then I sent it out to like I think a couple of people from Heal also joined the like
I didn't
fundraiser,
I didn't
but
get it. Was it what was it? March
What
Madness?
kind of
it
fundraiser?
was a March, yeah, it was March Madness. It was like
I
$2 per bracket.
You must forgot me. It's fine. I guess my invite's still lost in the mail. It happens, but
Yeah, it's one of the envelopes. It'll get
yeah.
there
Oh
eventually.
yeah. Okay. At least 2 to 4 weeks then for shipping and handling.
Yeah.
No problem.
But yeah, to your point though, I think Thon orgs work best, or Thon is at its best when there's collaboration. And I know like this year, like I went to and got pizza when you guys had a fundraiser at Doggy's Pizza. Like
You are a king for that, by the way.
Thank you, thank you. And it's like it's simple because it's like, okay,
Yeah.
I had to eat. Why not just go? Like I'm gonna eat out eventually. Like I'm like, why not just go to and support Heal, which is a great org. So
Yeah, and we're right back at you, Tom. Whenever you have your restaurant fundraiser and stuff, like let us know, because I will be there, and I will bring an entourage, of course, as I always do.
yes, Bobby, I'm expecting like your whole family, extended family,
My
aunts and
grandparents are
uncles.
flying up. They heard that there's a Moe's fundraiser for Tri-State, and they're like, "Oh, the Tri-State area needs our support,"
Yeah,
so they'll fly up.
Phineas and Ferb themselves
Yeah,
need your
they
support.
will be there. Dr. Doofenshmirtz is gonna take us all out if we don't.
But yeah,
Also, go
yeah,
ahead.
I think it's and it yeah, I think just like the collaboration, and I think Andrew said this year too that then you got like you guys did bracelets with I forget what org it was,
Axis.
but Axis.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So like that's cool. And I just think, like I said, like collaboration, it helps. It helps every Thon org. It doesn't. It never hurts to collaborate.
Yeah.
Um,
I think
but
the
yeah,
two biggest things that, this this pandemic hasn't really been good for Thon. Obviously, you have to find the silver lining of every cloud. So the silver lining here is that we've seen a lot more collaboration, and from that collaboration, we've seen a lot more innovation. So cool things like I don't know this podcast, online fundraising options like Twitch fundraisers and stuff. So um, yeah, not a fan of the pandemic, but I am a fan of the good things we've gotten out of it, and I'm excited to utilize those next year when things are back to normal. Because I don't know how normal things will be, but we'll be in person for meetings and classes. We should have a involvement fair, please, please. We need it bad. Like, so
What's wrong with the virtual involvement fair?
Oh, the virtual involvement fair is great, but like, no, it's not. There's just something about being there in person and seeing the enthusiasm people have about their organizations that makes it hard to walk by. Like, if I'm walking through and someone is so hyped about their Thon work and I'm interested in Thon, why would I not talk to that person, right? Like, they're so hyped for a reason. It's not because they're weird. In my case, it is, but normally it's not because they're weird. So you talk to them, and then boom, you get a member, right? So it's stuff like that that not having it this year, we've noticed. Every org, so many roundtables I went to, people were like, "Yeah, numbers are down," and we're all like, "Yeah, well,
Yeah.
what are you gonna do?" But we persevered. We had a great total this year. I can't complain, and I just am looking forward to starting work on stuff for next year because Dawn is a weekend in February, but the prep work and the leg work all starts the very next week. You start looking at what you're going to do for the next year, and it's a year-long process. So
yeah.
Yeah.
And I like just to echo that sentiment too. Like, kind of just I think what we did well is with Tri-State this year, and I think what a lot of Thon orgs did is they just like took like they took the circumstances and they made the best of it. Like obviously you wanted to have I would have rather had 50 ribbon sale fundraisers. And when I set up the ribbon sale, I called probably 15 businesses and they were all like, no, we can't do it. But then like the one that we called, it just turned into something that was really awesome because yes, it would have been cool to have 3 different fundraisers. And I think we did it at Williamsport, but then we wouldn't have had all the members together, and it was a cold day, so like we wouldn't have been able to take shifts to go into the bathroom and warm up a little, and like one of our members even went in and like grabbed a muffin, and like just like stuff like that, like just finding like the good in the bad. And like I think that like Thon's total this year, like I was definitely expecting the number to be down, and it was a little bit down from like the previous year, but man, like 10.5 million dollars for the kids, like that is absolutely incredible.
definitely.
So yeah.
And don't knock your single ribboning fundraiser because when I found out you guys were doing that, I, Tom, I was so jealous. You don't understand. Those like ribboning weekends and back in the day when it was canning, but canning, ribboning, canvassing, those are the weekends that like a lot of people like pin, like that was the moment that they realized, like, yeah, I love Thon and I love like my Thon org because of the experiences you have. It's so unique. You interact with so many different people who will come up to you and be like, "Oh yeah, class of '64," and you're like, "Wow, crazy!" Or, "Yeah, I know someone who was in Four Diamonds," and it's like, "Holy cow!" Like the reach that everything has, and it really is an opportunity to see what a little glimpse, because it's usually in the fall when we do them, but it's a little glimpse at what um, is to come and the impact that Dawn has on people, and you get to see that firsthand there.
Yeah, and I like not to like hammer home how awesome ribboning is, but
It's awesome. It is
I will
awesome.
hammer home how awesome
Hit it.
ribboning is. Um, and I did ribboning before the pandemic, before COVID, at my hometown, and I live in Massachusetts, so I live right outside of Boston.
Yeah,
So
Boston.
like, yeah, I'm Boston. I'm Boston. And I don't know if my accent actually comes
It
through.
does
I don't.
not at all.
Okay, gotcha. If you met my dad, it might be a different story. But um like, okay, Boston. Yes, people know Penn State. They know football, right? But we did a fundraiser outside of like just a market, or not a market, a supermarket. And
Same thing.
like, yeah, the amount of people who they might not have known like Penn State and they might not have known Thon, but when they read the sign, like, help kids fight cancer, and like help support fighting pediatric cancer, like that that resonates with people. They want to help. And this was like, I think we did it near Christmas, so like people were like more in the giving mood, but like people still like, yes, people talk about like when you're doing it in Pennsylvania, they talk about, oh, I graduated this year, like, oh, my son goes to Penn State. There weren't any of those comments. It was, oh, I know someone who's been affected by cancer, or oh, I know my aunt, or my niece, she had a really tough battle with cancer. And like, it wasn't necessarily a Penn State connection, but it was a Thon connection. And it was a connection of like, I want to help you guys help other people. And that kind of it, I think it transcends, I mean, obviously state borders,
Yeah.
but just like national borders as well. It's like people like to help other people. And I think Thon gives a great opportunity for a bunch of different people to help one org, and help, or not one org, but one organization of Thon. I know a ton of my relatives who live in Boston who would have never known about Thon are now like, oh my God, Thomas, like, you dance, like, that's awesome. And they like can't wait. Like, they ask me, when's the Thon envelope coming? Like, I want to donate this year. And I think that's really awesome and really powerful about Thon.
Yeah, definitely, and that's amazing. And I think part of the generosity this year arose from the whole COVID situation. People realized, like, yeah, it's a hard year for me, but it's also definitely has to be a hard year for Thon and all these organizations raising money for a good cause. So maybe I'll be a little extra generous this year. And that was definitely reflected. I'm a donor and alumni relations committee member. So in my calls that I was giving to past donors, I would hear how they felt so bad, how it was going to be a down year for us. But in the end, our total was not hit too hard because of the generosity of a lot of great people like that. So
People are so awesome.
yeah.
We all agree. I mean, it's pretty easy to agree that cancer is not good. And I think the entire world can come together on that one, regardless of who you are and what you do, and, backgrounds, religion, orientation. Everyone can agree cancer is the worst, and it's even worse when it's on kids. So, um, yeah, it's a very easy cause to get behind, but still impactful. Tom, you had a great little segue for us when you mentioned that you danced. So, what was dancing in Thon 2021 like for you in Tri-State? What kind of stuff did you guys do? How was it? Let us know. Let's hear it.
Absolutely. Well, I'm gonna lead with undescribable how amazing the moment is.
That's a good way to get out of the question.
Because, well,
I'm just
The
kidding.
next question. Next question. I can't describe it.
I can't describe it. Next.
But it was so unbelievable, so incredible. It wasn't the BJC, but Thon isn't the BJC, and Thon isn't just Thon weekend. So when I got the chance to dance for Tri-State, I was like, I'm definitely going to take this opportunity. Like, it's going to be different. It's not going to be a quote unquote normal year. Everyone keeps talking about the normal year. We're going to have normal times. It wasn't going to be like that, but it's still the power of Thon kind of rang true the whole weekend. We start like what was really awesome was we raised I think over $4,000 from like Thursday night into Saturday night. And that was all FTK. That was all for Tri-State. And that was just because we were doing these like TikTok challenges and TikTok dares, where it was like, okay, if we get to $5, we'll draw a dog blindfold. Excuse me. And then if we get to $10, or $100, we'll crack an egg on each other's head and we'll pie each other in the face. So like that's kind of what drove a lot of our events. Like when it's 3 a.m. on Friday or Saturday, like not a lot of people are up, there's not a lot of activity. We saw that it was very dark out. We actually played Wii for like probably maybe 8 to 10 hours over Thon weekend. That's probably an exaggeration. It was
What
probably
game?
around. It was awesome because we had Mario Kart and we had Wii Sports and I think we had Wii Play. But we did like Wii Sports. We did Just Dance. We did like Dance
Yeah.
Revolution. That was amazing. And just like the whole weekend was just absolutely incredible.
Oh, Tom, you froze. We lost you.
It was so incredible that.
And you, Bobby, and you, Connor. Oh wait, did I
Oh,
just?
Could
you're
you
back.
could
You're
you
back. You're
repeat
back.
what you were saying? Because I
Yeah.
think you cut out.
It was
Okay,
so
so
incredible, and then you just died.
Yeah.
yeah, that's just there. We go. There's
I should
Zoom.
edit that part out,
Zoom.
but I won't. So we'll just leave it.
Yeah, let's just pretend that I just yeah. But what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, it was just so unbelievably incredible. And I would recommend to you, Connor, you, Bobby, definitely if you have the opportunity to dance and thon, because it's really cool to be there for the kids and just like kind of it's a celebration of the fundraising efforts, I feel like. And we raised a ton of money and it was just an undescribable awesome experience. I probably sound like a broken record saying it was undescribable and awesome, but
It was undescribable
it,
and awesome.
Yeah.
yeah, it was
Can't
and
lie.
best weekend of my life. If I could, I remember one of the people we danced with, Brian, he was like, this was like I would do it again in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
And I was like, literally, like the following days after, I was like, I am extremely tired. I had just stood and not slept for 46 straight hours, but like I wanted to do Thon again, like literally Tuesday after
Yeah.
I was still so hyped. The emotions of Thon weekend are really, really high. Um, and it was just, yeah, it was just awesome.
So I mean, we're gonna see you back in the BJC for Thon 2022.
We shall see. We shall
Oh,
see. I do not. I do. I think any member in Tri-State who wants to dance, I would encourage them to show that they love
definitely.
Thon and that they're all about Thon. But yeah, I think it'd be a cool opportunity to dance again. I had such a wonderful experience, and obviously I'll be back next year. But we shall see.
Ooh,
We shall see.
interesting. I didn't expect to get
Exciting.
an answer for that. That was cool. Awesome. So you guys were apartment hopping Thon weekend, correct? You were jumping around in State College. How was that? Do you like hopping apartments? Do you wish you just stayed in one, or because I know that was a very common thing. A lot of orgs. He was lucky that we actually had a space that was donated to us to use for the weekend, but a lot of orgs didn't. So it was just sort of wherever you could fit it in, make it work, and then obviously if I have people at my place, I have things I need to do during the weekend, right? So I can't have everyone here for 46 hours. So obviously, a lot of apartment hopping was going on. But how was that experience?
I would say it was definitely needed. I
Yeah.
don't think I could have done 46 hours from my apartment, from Brian's apartment, from Kristen's apartment, and those were our two other dancers. So I would say every time that we I don't know kind of what stints we did them in, but I think it was like very not very thought out. It was kind of just, oh, we got bored at my apartment, so let's go to Brian's. And I think we were trying to plan them out, but then we just were like, you know what, whatever we feel like, we'll go to whoever's apartment we need to go to. And speaking on that, like, oh, a lot of orgs did this and a lot of orgs did that. We were able to stay up for all 46. And what I was surprised about, and like everyone had to do their own thing because Dawn was very different this year, is that a lot of people actually ended up saying they were going to take like the break. So I'm really proud of. I don't want to toot my own horn, and I think I know
No,
Heel
you
did this
you
as well.
definitely deserve to toot your own horn here. You guys are incredible. So keep going.
Yeah, and I think and like shout out to the heel dancers as well. Like we were able to get through the 46 without the constant support of the BJC, without the constant energy, and I think that was really awesome because we had a bunch of excellent friends help us along the way. Bobby, you wrote me a note. You wrote me Thon mail.
I did. I was actually in your apartment like 4 or 5 times during the weekend. None of the times you were there, but I would like leave little things around for you to find. Um, because I knew it was tough. Like obviously it's tough. And you guys had less going for you than we did because we had like a designated space, and I felt so bad that you had to keep hopping around. But it seems like it helped. So either
Yeah,
way,
and like
I was there for you if you needed me, and you knew that. So
yeah, and I guess this the whole like COVID and this year and like what Thon is about is like we didn't feel sorry for ourselves that we had to apartment hop. It was like we're gonna do it and we're gonna have fun.
yeah,
So it's like just take I guess like we just took what was given with us and we rolled with it. And then I think we ended up staying at my apartment more than we expected to. And then we were at Brian's for more than we expected to. And then we were at Kristen's for a little bit less. But it was kind of just like whatever happens, happens. And it was quite the experience. And I honestly loved it. And it'd be interesting. It would be interesting to see what the BJC is like next year, having done this thon this year.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it'll be a quick change of pace for sure. I don't even remember what Thon was like my freshman year at this point.
Oh
It's just been
no,
so long of being away from everyone. No, that's not entirely true.
you definitely
But
remember. Don't lie.
I remember everything. I made that up. But is there a favorite memory that you have from this year's Thon in particular, and like something that you wouldn't have been able to do in a normal Thon in the BJC?
Wow, that's a great question. Um, I think my favorite memory was probably, um, I'm going to list a bunch of favorite
Just
memories.
go through the list.
Go through the list.
We
So
got
I think
time.
Thon Weekend is basically I feel like all a bunch of favorite memories. And one I had in particular was our Thon family actually shouted us out. They were highlighted by Thon, and it was in like the final four. So like they go through a lot of the Thon families and they try to highlight as many of them as possible and their stories. And it was it was basically a bunch of families were shown and then our family was shown and I was like, oh my god, this is so amazing, this is so awesome, like let's go, like it's the Homans. And then they gave a shout out back to us. So they said shout out to Brian, Kristen, and Tom, our tri-state dancers this year. And I was like, that's like really really incredible because you could just tell how much they appreciate our efforts. And we're always there for them, for financial and emotional support. And like in that moment, like it was our whatever hour it was, but it was pretty late and thawed. And I was like, let's go. It's the like I got this huge energy jolt because I was like, the Homans just shouted us out. Like, this is so amazing. This is so awesome. And that was really incredible. I guess answering your question, Connor, what did we get to do that we wouldn't have gotten to do had it been the BJC? And I would say walks outside were really helpful.
Shower.
Because we got fresh air quite regularly whenever we wanted to. We opened up, like, I believe all throughout Final Four, we had my apartment window completely jarred open, and it was 15 degrees out, or it was a cold day.
Dude. It was really cold.
So, and then as a tired person walking around in 30-degree weather, 20-degree weather, it definitely, you aren't going to fall asleep walking down Beaver Ave when it's 20
True.
degrees, for sure. And then I guess another advantage this year was we got to hang out with anyone we wanted whenever we wanted. And in a normal Thon year, you have to get designated floor passes to see members. So we were able to, we hung out with Andrew and Sam, two awesome Heal members, for like 4 straight hours. And that just wouldn't happen in a normal Thon. I wasn't feeling the best Saturday night. And then Sam, my good friend David, who's also a Heal member. It was 3 Heal members. See, this is what it's all about.
Hey,
it's
man,
Thon collaboration.
that's what we do.
Yeah. Maggie was there. Maggie Duffy, Heal member. David
Heal
Auerbach, Heal member, and then Andrew Malmstrom, Heal member. So they were.
Whoa.
No,
I was also there on the phone.
Yes.
Shout out.
Yes. Exactly.
Represent.
Shout out Bobby too.
I'm just best. I was on the phone though. I was.
You didn't. There was a couple times where I feel like it's always energy, because like I wasn't feeling very energy high, and then David walked in and he was like literally this bolt of lightning, and I was like, oh my god, like
Let's go.
We got 18 hours left, but I'm gonna run through a wall right now. Like,
Right.
Let's run a marathon. And that was incredible. And that was definitely probably one of my high moments as well. It's just I was not doing very well, and then they just were like, hey, it's Thon. We're going to dance. We're going to have some fun. And this was like 3 a.m. on Saturday night, or Sunday morning. And that was incredible. But yeah, collaboration, and then being able to hang out with whoever I wanted for however long I wanted. And there not being a time limit or like a pass limit. I thought those were 2 really valuable assets this year for Thon.
Yeah, for sure.
And no one even mentions really the floor pass thing is a really good point, because you're right. You literally could just get whoever you wanted whenever you wanted it, and in a normal year that is not how things work. Last year we got our pass list frozen for like 10 hours, so like things happen. You don't get people down there. So, but with that, we are at about the time where all the fun stuff happens, Tom. I don't know if you've listened to the HEALcast before. It's okay if you haven't, because I don't even listen. But we have some questions that we ask every guest. Connor, if you remember Morgan's question, you can ask it. Otherwise, I will ask it for you.
I don't know if I'm gonna do the right one, but I'm gonna ask it anyway.
Go ahead.
So on the podcast, we ask people a question of what they think will be in next year's line dance.
That is the right one.
Okay, that's the right question. Good.
very
Okay.
Okay.
So, is there anything that has happened thus far since Thon that you think
Will be in
might
the
be
next
in next year's line dance?
Can I take like a general approach to this question?
Yes, and then we'll get more specific, so you're good.
Okay. The one and only cha-cha slide has to be in next year's line dance, because it has not been in the last 5 line dances. I don't think it's been in the last 6 line dances. And it's such a wonderful song. There we
Down, do you girl,
I
They
like the
say I'm
approach.
a rapper, and I said no. Is that Cha-Cha Slide or is that Cupid Shuffle?
go. Let's
I
keep
think
it
that's
shuffled.
Cuban Shuffle.
Ah!
That could be in it too,
Might as well,
just
right?
for fun.
So we talked about this one last week. It's on my list. Something very specific example. But the hub Chick-fil-A is leaving after this semester. I don't know if you're aware of that. and it's getting replaced. So I think that will be in the line dance. So anything like that that has happened. I don't know of anything other than the Hub Chick-fil-A that has like
A
happened.
lock.
Oh wait, no, I do have something else that's definitely going to be in there. But the Hub Chick-fil-A, 100%.
For sure, yeah.
Rest in peace. I will be at that candlelight vigil. If we did one for Taco Bell, we might as well do one for Chick-fil-A, right?
True.
I'm a big Chick-fil-A fanatic, so I think if there is like a petition to keep the Chick-fil-A, I will sign it 10,000 times.
I will sign it 20,000 times, and together we'll keep the Chick-fil-A.
There we
I'll
go.
sign
The
it 5
power-
times.
See,
Wow, that's a lot.
Like
Power
5
of-
minutes of my time.
He has a really nice signature. He's got to get all finessed on it.
oh, I've seen Connor's signature before. He has
Yeah,
this
I
very
have.
nice
I
blank
have too.
space.
I don't think it's that good. Anyways, Connor, do you have anything
Do I have anything?
other than disgust for me not liking?
This
your
isn't
signature?
about me. I'm not a guest. I'm a host. I'm a co-host.
Yeah, but we always throw out.
We don't
our
ask
ideas.
me the questions.
All right. Another thing that has happened recently that I think could be in the line dance is the blocking of the Suez Canal by the what was it? The Evergreen was the name of the trade ship. That was like kind of like a meme at first, but then it like became like a big deal because it was I don't know if like it was a slow week for media coverage or not, but like it also shut down 70% of the world trade, which is kind of bad when you're dealing with this time sensitive thing called a vaccine that can't be on the ship for X amount of time. I don't know if it had vaccines on it. I hope it didn't. I didn't see anything about it doing, but it was like a bunch of cargo. But like other vaccines that needed to go through the Suez, like definitely couldn't. So I think it's all cleared up now. I hope. I'm pretty sure they like freed it. I don't know. I don't watch the news, guys. I don't go outside. So like if it doesn't pop up on Reddit, then I don't see it. Again, like I said, I'm a basement dweller. I kind of vibe with like the 12 to 14 hours of staring at my computer screen until the whites of my eyes start leaking down the side of my face. But yeah, I think that we will have maybe a reference to that. I don't know. I'm trying to get out ahead of it because like this year the explosion in Beirut was in there, and I didn't even think about that. Right. So like this is something far less tragic. Hopefully, I think. I don't know. I
I'd
don't
say
think
so.
anyone necessarily died. Maybe that people were inconvenienced, but so I don't know. I maybe a bunch of crazy things will happen this year and it won't make the cut. But right now, in like the month and almost 2 months we had since dawn, no, just 1 month, a month and a week since dawn. Um, that's at the top of the list.
It's also hard to gauge the significance of something in a year when we're only about a month in.
Exactly.
Like,
Yeah. We got
you just have no clue.
11 more increments of this time frame to happen, and who
Yeah.
knows what'll go on. So
There could be 12 more Suez Canal
there could be
blockades.
12 more evergreens parking sideways in the Suez Canal.
The
It could
possibilities are.
happen. Truly.
I wish there were 12 Chick-fil-A's that they could take out of the hub because that's what Chick-fil-A deserves is 12 locations in the hub.
Honestly, they'd all still be packed 24/7. Like, well, 24/6 because Sunday's off. But
Ooh.
yeah, cool. So I think that's the fastest we've gone through the Thon line dance question. So we're off to the final question, Tom.
Oh my. I'm
Before we
excited.
ask that, do you have any questions for us?
Yeah, I do.
Cool.
I would
let's hear
like to
'em.
know how both of you got involved with Heal, and I'd like to. I'm sure all the podcast listeners already know what your
Yes.
titles are, but I'd like to know how you guys found Heal. If you guys don't mind. If you guys don't mind.
Yeah, well, I think I've given this story a couple times on the pod, so I'll give it a quick abbreviation, and we'll run through it. Came to Penn State. Always wanted to come to Penn State. Penn State family. I've been to Thons. I think my first one was like 2012, maybe. I don't know. I've been to a bunch of Thons. Always loved it. Never really understood like the true meaning behind it. But I was like, yeah, raise money for kids with cancer. That's dope. But like I never truly got it till I came here. Had a friend in high school who was in Heal, and she was like, "Oh, you should come to my Thon org." They're super cool. Uh, they hang out all the time, and it's like a good group of people. And someone else we know from high school is on the exec board, and I was like, I know that person. That person's name is Matt Giuliano, and that guy's awesome. And we were, my freshman year in high school. He was a senior. We were on the volleyball team together. So like Matt and I, we, we're friends. We'll leave it there. But joined and never looked back. Went to that meeting, hung out. Um, Caught back up with Matt. I had been seeing him from time to time. I had season tickets for the 4 seasons and for all my life, but the 4 seasons I was in high school and Matt was here, so I would see him every football weekend. So it was like every other weekend for me going to a heel meeting. It literally felt like home. Got to go ribboning and canvassing my like second week in the org, and that really cemented it. And I was like, wow, these people are awesome. These experiences are so much fun. I love this. Um, got to meet at that point in time. We only had one family, so I said a bridged version. We're gonna go for like 10 minutes, so just be ready.
Okay.
Got to meet the Tuckies, which at that time was our only family. Luckily, we are able to support two families now. Shout out the Hesses. But at that time, it was just Tuckies. So I think it was December 3rd for. Actually, no, I don't know if I went on that trip. Might have been Becca's birthday trip. Might not have been. Either way, went to the Tuckies, and that's when it really clicked. That's when I kind of understood. I was like, wow, like this is what it's all for, right? Like I understood we were doing Thon, and I saw the big numbers, better people type thing, right? Like, oh, every year we make more money. I want to be a part of the big number better people club. But it was in that moment that I was like, this is what it's all for. Like Becca, Kate, Nat, Josh, Eli, like you guys are what it's for. So that was really like a turning point for me, and I remember leaving and being like, now I understand. Like now I get it. Like this is why we do what we do. But yeah, never turned back. Got stuck. Shout out Connor. Go ahead. All you popcorn, whatever.
Yeah, I'll keep it about 20 times shorter than that.
Yeah, maybe 30.
Um, so I joined based on a recommendation from my friend Rose from high school. Once I got there, I found out that there were one or two more people from my high school and plenty of people from Bucks County, where I'm originally from. Um, so yeah, that's how I heard about Heal, but at the involvement fair, Bobby kind of like yelled at me. I came over, I talked to him, and I was like, "Oh, this kid's pretty cool." And
And now we play
came to a
Minecraft
meeting.
like 4 days a week, and it's awesome. So
Yeah,
You also play with Andrew too. I know because Andrew plays Minecraft, and I walk in the apartment. He says, and I already know he's on his like the first couple times. I have to like, oh, you're playing Minecraft with. It's like, oh, I'm going to Connor Powder, Connor and Bobby, and now it's just
the
yeah.
three of us are animals. We will play Minecraft 4 to 5 times a week.
we don't
Maybe
just play Minecraft, we
we
live
we
Minecraft.
live Minecraft, eat, breathe, drink, sleep. Minecraft, yeah. I don't know where I was going with that, but Minecraft. That's all we do. Bed wars, turf wars, you name it. Speed runs. Mine Z. We're kings. That's all we get. Oh,
Yeah.
what are you gonna do? Little COVID times, you gotta stay indoors. What are you gonna do? Play some Minecraft with the boys. That's how it is. So
Honestly, anything with the boys.
definitely. Any other
But
questions for us, Tom?
oh, I was not done.
Oh, go ahead. My
Yeah, I
bad.
was gonna say coincidentally, Matt Giuliano is the first person I sat next to at a Heal meeting. Um, so yeah, he was great to talk to. He made me feel safe at my first meeting, so
Safe.
that was good. I didn't feel like I was gonna be attacked
Matt
by.
Giuliano gives off some big dad vibes for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Um, but yeah, from there, I was kind of getting settled into like college life in the fall, but there was retreat in the spring, and I went to a Tucky trip, my first Tucky trip. That was amazing. I loved getting to meet Kate and Becca and Nat and Josh and Eli. Um, and then there was Thon, obviously, and yeah, I definitely made some stronger connections in the spring, and that made me want to apply for exec. So yeah,
And here we are.
Yeah,
here we are.
and I think it just keeps on building too. Like you're like, okay, went to my first meeting and like sat down. And, like the people do not bite. So like I'll go to a third meeting, and then like you're like, oh, we're doing like we did Nittanyville with Tri-State, So I was like, oh,
We
I
need
get
to
to
do
be.
that. I don't know why we haven't. Like that is I've been here for 4 years and well, gonna be 4 years. I guess we only really had 2 seasons, but
Yeah, there
I,
was no chance this year.
we need to go Nittanyville bad. We'll do a joint heel tri-state one.
I'm
Hang
down
out.
for that.
Listen,
That'd be
I will
so much
order the
fun.
pizzas. Are you allowed to bring grills? I don't think you are, but if we are, I will grill the hot dogs. It'll be a time and a half. We will hang out. It'll be fun.
Bring the waffle maker.
Yeah, my waffle iron. Connor loves my waffle iron. I had him over and he was cranking them out.
Who doesn't love a waffle iron?
True. I
Right?
still need to clean it. It's downstairs. It's nasty. It's been like 5 days.
Oh, no.
Bobby, after this podcast, please clean your waffle iron.
I will, and Tom, I'll send you a picture of it when it's nice and squeaky.
Thanks. I
I'm
appreciate
lying.
it.
He's not getting a picture of the waffle iron, and I'm not cleaning it.
Oh no.
Any other questions for us, Tom?
I think I'm all good. I think this was I don't know how you guys usually end the podcast, but I think this was a wonderful time. And
I had a wonderful time. Is there anything you wish we asked you that you didn't get to say, or have you spoken your piece?
I think I'll say one more thing about, because I know you mentioned ribboning, and
Yes.
I have not been online. Oh, I have been. So we did a Thon Nation ribbon sale with Tri-State last year. And like I think I just want to echo to all those people listening is like those weekends are like really, really awesome and really fun. Just ribboning in general is amazing. And we just did a day trip this year, and that was awesome and fun. And like staying over and like getting as a freshman, getting like a home cooked meal, that was awesome. It's kind of selfish reasons, but like we watched like when I did it with Club Croquet, and we watched the Michigan game together. And it was just, and that was really awesome. And that's one of the things that like sold me on Club Croquet. And they're also really huge with Thon. So I want to give them a shout out. Peter and Monica absolutely killed it this year dancing. So I want to give them a shout out. But yeah, I think you guys were great hosts. Thank you, Connor, for filling in for Morgan. It was great. And
Connor has
Who's Connor?
risen to the
Who's
occasion.
Who's Connor?
Yeah, Morgan too has risen to the occasion. All right, before we wrap, very important question I have to ask you, Tom. What does Thon mean to you?
I think it's about making relationships or building relationships, and just kind of like it's like tri-state to me is like what Thon is to me, and it's like a mini family. And we support the Homans, and like I said, Thon weekend, like they support us right back. So I think it's all about a community of like hope and trust and building people up, because the amount of relationships that I've gained from Thon alone. Some of my best friends are in Tri-State. Some of my best friends are from Thon. You guys, Andrew has shown me heel, and you guys are really awesome. And I've been to a couple of heel events as well. And I think it's just about like building people up and being there for people who are, obviously cancer is this horrible, horrible thing, but like you would never know when you saw Declan that he went through what he did. And I think that's just like the power of the Four Diamonds, the power of Thon is like they're there for these families, and like in return, like Thon is kind of there. Like Thon is there for me. It's given me all these friends. It's given me all these relationships. It's shown me the good in people, and I think that's what Thon's all about.
All right, awesome answer.
It's beautiful.
And with
Thank
that,
you.
I think we're ready to wrap. So, to everyone listening, thanks so much for listening. To anyone watching on YouTube, thanks for watching. Tom, it was an absolute pleasure to have you on here. I've been trying to get you on here forever, maybe years. Who knows?
Decades.
I'm glad we finally got it. Connor, fantastic to have you on as a co-host. Give you a little taste of what the pod is like from the other end. I hope you enjoyed it. You killed it, buddy.
Thank you for having me.
Oh my God, always a pleasure. You're both always welcome here.
Morgan, watch out.
Yeah, watch out, Morgan. You might be looking for a new job here soon. But that's it from us. Again, thank you all so much for everything, for listening, and your support over the last year, almost year. We've been doing this. And until next time, keep on dancing.